Good day, my name's Enzo Coppola and welcome to the Top Tipper Betting Tips Match Week number 10 predictions for the English Premier League. Starting off with, if we can start with the highlights from Match Week number 9. Just a short review of the highlights. Chelsea beating Norwich 7-0. What a great result that was for Chelsea. They showed no mercy against a Norwich team that's really struggling this season, so that was a good win for them, 7-0. Then Watford against Everton. Their comeback after being 2-1 down with only a few minutes to go to win 5-2 was quite an amazing result. In 13 minutes they scored 4 goals. So well done to Watford for that, and that was an away match. And then, of course, Liverpool's 5-0 win against Manchester United. Mo Salah, that man again, got a hat-trick, and he's really on form. He's scored a total of about 15 goals now. So I promised that I wouldn't really tear into Manchester United or tease them much for losing 5-0. But I just wanted to bring out our friend, the show pony, and just say, this chap here, he lived up to his word. The show ponies were in full regalia last week, prancing around, watching Liverpool play a great game. So I'll keep this guy, put him away for another week until the next time. May have to name him, like maybe Cristiano or Paul Pogba, but we'll see. So that was that. Those were the 3 highlights for me of the weekend. But for me, the molten magic moment of the week. Now, molten balls are the best balls you can get. Okay, and you'll see different ranges over there. Molten ball, the molten ball magic moment of the week for me was definitely Yuri Tielemans' stunning goal from outside the box into the top corner against Brentford to make Leicester win 2-1. So that for me is the molten magic moment of the week. Coming to the matches themselves and my predictions, always please remember these are my opinions and I'm just trying to give you some guideline. You must use your own intuition to see which is the best way to go. So if we start off with the Leicester against Arsenal game, Leicester's at home. Jamie Vardy is playing well at the moment. He's scored quite a few goals. He's scored 11 goals against Arsenal, which is the second highest, only after Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney has scored 12 times against Arsenal, so they both like to play Arsenal, obviously. So if he scores in this game this weekend, then he'll be able to equal Wayne Rooney, who's scored 12 times. They won 4 of their last 7 games against Arsenal. They've drawn 1 and lost 2 with the other 2 results. However, they seem to have been a little bit leaky at the back recently. Johnny Evans is out, and Fofana, the other very promising youngster for Leicester, he broke his leg. So without those 2, Soyuncu seems to have been a little bit at sea, a little bit lost. So they are a little weak at the back. Going forward, they look very strong. Like I said early on with Yuri Tielemans, and of course Jamie Vardy, who's in a rich vein of form. Ndidi is also out, but they've got able replacements there. Arsenal on the other hand have got Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who's been involved in 5 goals in his last Premier League games, but all of these have been at home, none have been away, and this is an away game against Leicester. So let's see if he can actually make some magic for them at Leicester. Emil Smith-Rowe, Bukayo Saka, between them have created 27 chances this season so far. So for 2 young players under 21, for them to be creating so much, it's a good sign for Arsenal going forward. They're looking quite good. Obviously they won 3-1 last time out. But they've got Ben White out, Pablo Murray is out, Rob Holding is out, Granit Xhaka is out, Odegaard and Kieran Tierney, they're facing late fitness tests. So they've had able replacements recently, and they've done pretty well. So I think, all in all, looking at the way Arsenal played last week when they won 2-1 and they beat Aston Villa, I think Arsenal will win this game 2-1 as well. So I predict an Arsenal win, possibly a draw, but let's go with an Arsenal win. We come to the next one. Next match is Burnley. Burnley against Brentford. Okay, Burnley's at home. Burnley got knocked out of the Carabao Cup during the week against Spurs. However, Ben Mee is back. He is back from injury. However, Burnley haven't won a game yet this season. That's not a good sign. And the whole goals are hard to come by for them. So although they seem to have a clean bill of health, most of the guys, or if not all, or the rest of them are available. I struggle to see them winning this game or getting something out of it. Brentford, they won in the League Cup during the week, so they're on a bit of a high. They've gone quite close with quite a few of their recent games, even against the top guns. They've lost and lost narrowly, but having played well. Ethan Pinnock, Brian and Burma, they need to be assessed before this match. Alvaro Fernandez, their new goalkeeper, he stepped in very well because of David Raya, their regular goalkeeper, has been injured. But Alvaro Fernandez has stepped up to the plate and he's doing well for them. Brentford are unbeaten away from home this season. I didn't know that until I checked it up. So that's actually not a bad result for a newly promoted team. They like to press high. They play adventurous football, and it's not reckless football. So I think Brentford will win this game 1-0. I've got a feeling for Brentford there. Then we come to Liverpool at home to Brighton. Now, Liverpool have won 5-0 in their last two matches. You may see some notes here, and there's another one there. I thought I'd drop that in. They've won 5-0 in their last two Premier games. Okay, they beat Watford and they were beaten Man United. I think Man United was probably the easier game of the two. Only Chelsea and Man City have won 3 games in a row 5-0. Chelsea did it in 2010 and Man City did it in 2017. So that's another unique record that Liverpool can write up for themselves. And Mo Salah got another hat-trick, and so he's flying high, and Liverpool are the only unbeaten team in the league at the moment. So, and on top of that, Salah has scored in his last 10 consecutive games. Now, please tell me if there is a better player on this planet than Mo Salah at the moment. Bring your Messis, Ronaldos, anyone else. They cannot match that record. So, well done to him. I'm very proud of him that he's part of our club as well. Although I try to stay unbiased when it comes to these predictions. Brighton, they last year, although they lost 6 games in a row against Liverpool before last season. Last season, they actually took 4 out of 6 away from Liverpool. They beat them and they drew against them. So a bit of an Achilles heel there with Brighton, and they're lying 5th in the log. So a couple of weeks ago, I fancied them to get something against Man City, but obviously they were blown out the water in that game when they lost 4-1. I don't see this as a banana skin for Liverpool. I think it should be a comfortable 4-0 win. Man City, also another team flying high. They're lying 2nd in the log at the moment. Have been pegged back slightly during the week because they got knocked out of the Carabao Cup in midweek against West Ham. They lost on penalties there. After drawing 0-0 at full time, they went into penalties and West Ham scored all 5 of their penalties and City could only manage 3. I mean, we all know the City's glittering lineup. They've got Phil Foden, who's really a tremendous player. I really think he's going to go far if he keeps his wits about him and he stays injury-free. Bernardo Silva, he's got that silky touch in midfield and he's very difficult to mark and he's a very good creator. And then you add Kevin De Bruyne. So where else could you get a better midfield than that in England? Beg your pardon. Then add Jack Grealish and Riyad Mahrez, and you've got a formidable side there. Ferran Torres is out for he's got a long-term injury, and but that shouldn't weaken them too much. So my long shot for the week is this one here. I do think City may slip up at some time, and I think against Palace, I'll come back to the result now. Let's go through Palace first, okay? The last time that Palace played at the Etihad in front of fans before COVID, they drew 2-2 with City. In the last game, Palace they outplayed Newcastle. They had 75% of the ball. They drew 1-1. Benteke missed 100 chances that I think my grandmother would put 3 of them at least. And then last time out, they drew with two games ago. They drew with Arsenal away 2-2, but they were leading 2-1, and Lacazette got a last-minute equaliser to deny them getting the full 3 points. But they also deserved to win there. Eberechi Eze, he's got a late fitness test. He's an influential player for them, and I think Patrick Vieira has got the guys playing well. They believe in each other, and I think that will be a draw, 1-1. I add the scores just as a matter of interest. Obviously, I know I could never get the scores 100% right, so perhaps you can pay attention more to my result than the score itself. But that's just as a matter of interest. Then we've got Newcastle against Chelsea. Okay, Newcastle's at home. On the plus side for Newcastle, we went through last time that the new takeover, etc., and all that emotion that goes with it didn't seem to help them much. Although last time out they drew 1-1. On the plus side, they've got Callum Wilson, who scored 6 in his last 6 Premier League games, and he scored in 4 consecutive games as well. But they've lost. Newcastle have lost 5 of their previous games against Chelsea. Chelsea looking very strong, top of the log, looking to win their 4th consecutive games. Tuchel, the coach, he's done this before in February where they won 4 consecutive games earlier this year. And for Chelsea, they're getting goal scorers from all sides of the park. They've had 14 different scorers this season. And Ben Chilwell has scored in 3 consecutive games, and he's a left back. And his goals have been quite stunning, I must admit. So I don't see anything other than a Chelsea win here. I'll say 2-0 for Chelsea. Then we come to Watford, Southampton. Watford, fresh off a 5-2 win. They scored 4 goals in the final 13 minutes against Everton. Everton were leading. They scored 4 goals from the 87th minute onwards and blew Everton out of the water. So they've got a few players out injured. Apologies. Francisco Serralta, Christian Kabaseki, Peter Tebo, and Emmanuel Dennis has been suspended because he's got 5 yellow cards. So the Claudio Ranieri effect seems to have kicked into effect almost immediately, although they had lost 5-0 the week before. But Ranieri's first game against that was Ranieri's first game. So his second game, he bounced back and he scored 5 on his own for his team. Not him, but his team scored on behalf of the club. Southampton, Armando Broja, the striker, he scored a couple of goals recently. He's out with an ankle injury. Jack Stevens is out. On the plus side, they've got James Ward-Prowse back, and he's an integral part of their midfield, especially going forward, set pieces, etc., corners, and so on. So the last time they drew 2-2 with Burnley, and they beat Leeds 1-0. So I see a 2-2 draw here. I see a draw win this game with Watford. If anyone's going to win, I don't want to hazard a guess. It could go either way. Watford's got home advantage, plus the tails are up. And Southampton, I like the way Southampton play. But I'll go draw there, 2-2. Then we come to Spurs against Japanese. So, which Spurs will pitch up this week, or which Man United will pitch up this week? Who knows? Okay. If I look at Spurs first, they're playing at home. In the last game that they played, they tended to play on the break. Okay, they give away possession too easily, in my view. They played 1, 2, 3, 4 short passes, then it's a long ball. That seems to be their pattern of play. 1, 2, 3, 4 short passes, long ball, and hope that somebody catches it on the break. But that doesn't give you much chance. It doesn't give you any incisiveness in the final third. And they've had the second fewest shots in open play this season. 64 shots in open play. And only Norwich is worse than them. They've only had 61. So now 64 shots in open play. It's just unacceptable in 9 games. And only 11 direct attacks on goal all season. 11 direct attacks. So it tells you that they can't get to that final third unless it's a breakaway and it's a counter-attack football. They're fairly strong down the left. They've got Reguilon, they've got Son, etc. But this Spurs side does not have substance for me. They may win 1 or 2, but when they play against good sides, I think they're going to struggle. And not to say that Man United are a good side, because they're just an average mid-table team at the moment. Sorry, Man United fans, but that's the truth. You've got the best coach that's never won anything, so you can keep him. I'm just joking. Okay. But United haven't kept a clean sheet since August. How can you challenge for any title or win anything if you cannot keep a clean sheet? Answer that question, please. The last 2 games, lost to Leicester 4-2, and obviously lost to Liverpool 5-0. So Paul Pogba is out after that shocking tackle on Naby Keita. He should have had a straight red, never mind go to VAR. But anyway, he's out. But on the plus side, Varane and Martial could be back. Okay. Having said that, because Spurs for me at the moment are weak, I'm giving this match to Man United. Hopefully I'll keep my run going. I've got virtually all my Man United predictions right recently. So hopefully this will come right too, for their sake. And for top tipper betting tips' sake as well. So I'd say Man United will win this game 3-1. Then we come to Norwich. Norwich are at home to Leeds. Norwich are conceding, first of all, they're bottom of the log. They've only scored 2 goals, conceded 23. Their goal difference is minus 21. So they've only got 2 points. And as I said, they're bottom of the log. Last time out, they lost 7-0 to Chelsea. I can't see any hope for them. I really cannot see any hope for them this season. They will be relegated by the end of November, by the looks of it. And, I mean, conceding at least 3 goals a game, and obviously that 7-goal loss to Chelsea has pushed that average up quite a lot. But if you can't score goals and you can't defend, you shouldn't even be on the park. So I see a Leeds win here. I mean, Rodrigo has scored 1 or 2 for them recently. He did quite well for them last season. He scored 7 in 14 games. But Leeds are 17th in the log at the moment. So this is almost like a 6-pointer for both of them. So Leeds need to win this game. They are sitting on 7 points. So just outside the relegation zone. So they need to start winning and picking up points, and this is where they should do it. Okay. However, they've got Bamford out. They've only scored 8 times in 9 games, and they've conceded 16. So they've got similar problems. But on a day like this, I think that Leeds will win. Leeds will win 2-0. We come to the Aston Villa West Ham game. Aston Villa lost 3-1 to Arsenal last time out. First half is what killed Aston Villa, because Arsenal played very well and they capitalised on the chances they created. They went 2-0 up. And that's basically, even Dean Smith, the coach, has admitted that that's where they won and lost the game. So they got dominated physically, but Villa have lost 3 in a row now. They lost to Spurs, Wolves, and Arsenal, as I've just mentioned. So they're not in a good role at the moment. They need a result this weekend. They need a result. And they're hoping to get it against the West Ham team that has actually done very well. They knocked out Man City in the Carabao Cup on penalties during the week. So good luck to Aston Villa against West Ham. Last time out they beat Spurs. I watched that full game, and Spurs, I've already summarised them, but West Ham were solid. They looking good in defence, midfield. Declan Rice, I like him a lot, and Antonio up front. He's a powerhouse. So I reckon West Ham win 2-1. Last match of the match week number 10 is on a Monday night, and it's between Wolves and Everton. Wolves are at home. They've got a new young striker, Wang Hee-chan. He scored 4 goals in the last 6 Premier League games. Good players, Conor Cody, Ruben Neves, Raul Jimenez, Adama Traore. They're on the up again, Wolves, after a bit of a shaky start. So against an Everton team who last season won home and away against Wolves. But we can't really draw too much from that. Last season's a long time away, different coach, etc. Now we've got Rafa Benitez at Everton. He's under pressure. Wasn't a popular appointment because he's an ex-Liverpool coach, but he's there now. Demarai Gray is a player that Benitez brought over to Everton, and he's done very well for the club. He's been involved in 5 goals in 9 games, and it's the first time in his career that he started 9 consecutive games for Everton in his personal career. Downside, they got a big smack against Watford, a big smack, and to lose in that manner, to capitulate 4 goals, to concede 4 goals in 13 minutes, for me it's very, very poor. And they've become a counter-attacking team, Everton. So they like to sit back, wait for a mistake and punch forward, like they've done a couple of times in some of these recent games. But you can't rely on that to have a winning formula. You can't do that all the time. Not if your team is weak, and you've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin is still out. Richarlison is back. But I see a Wolves win. I think Wolves will win this game 3-0. So those are my predictions. I hope it gives you a bit of a guideline. That's match-by-match predictions. Now we'll go with my bets for the week, my suggestions. Okay, so if we start with the first one, the best bet for the weekend, in my opinion, as a guideline, I think Manchester United to beat Spurs. You'll get just over even odds there. And Watford and Southampton to draw. You'll get almost 2.5 to 1 odds there. Combined total odds for that bet is 7 to 1. So I'll repeat that. Man United to beat Spurs, Watford and Southampton to draw. You should get combined odds at Hollywood Bets of 7 to 1. Please remember that our betting agent that we like to use and prefer to use at the moment is Hollywood Bets. Then a safe bet, okay? The safe bet, Liverpool to win and Wolves to win. That combined total will give you 2 to 1 odds. Okay? I've tried to take some advice from some of my friends, like Peter Fink, who said I should rather bet with my head and not with my heart. So I've gone for a conservative safe bet, and hopefully it comes in. Liverpool to win, Wolves to win, odds of 2 to 1. Then a long shot. Okay, Man City and Palace to draw. That should give you over 6-1 odds on that result alone. And Arsenal to win. Combine those two odds together, it's 21-1. So just to repeat, Man City and Palace to draw and Arsenal to win. Combine those two together as a long shot, 21-1. So I hope that gives you some kind of guideline. Please don't forget to subscribe to Top Tipper Betting Tips, and like all the other social media on Facebook, etc., and give us some feedback as to what you think and what you would like to hear in future, or any suggestions. So happy betting, and ciao ciao.